Hey guys, just had this game yesterday and I thought I'd do another video, because, well, I have time to, and I have actual footage for one now. So, here I am in the 109 G14, and I'm basically just spading it out, because I can. And it's a bit of an interesting plane, because it's a lighter version of the 109 G6, which means it has a better power to weight ratio. So it climbs better and it's more maneuverable. Now, I don't take the gun pods on this thing because they're not really necessary. The guns in it are good enough. They will shoot down any fighter with ease so long as you can aim. So basically what my original plan was for the game was to climb above the clouds and see if there's anything up there. Yeah, the clouds didn't break when I was at 5k, so I figured no allied pilot would be anywhere near that. So I'm gonna stick just below the clouds so I can spot everything below it. And here we have a P-36. I mean, not really much to say about this kill. I don't think he ever saw me coming. So I just dive down on him. He's diving on our 109. Just put a burst out in the air, and it ends him instantly. So now I've lost some energy in that dive, but I mean free kill, right? So now I see this Bearcat. Well, I'm not as fast as the Bearcat. I can definitely dogfight it for sure, because this plane is quite maneuverable for a 109 at this tier. So my plan was to chase him down, but he seems to be getting distance on me, and then he pulls up for some reason, which allowed me to gain a lot of distance on him, but not as much as I'd hoped. So I mean, I'm not going to catch him. This 109 is not the fastest of the 109s, but it is a very strong and maneuverable plane. Now, this thing finds itself in one of the brackets or folders or whatever you want to call them, with the 109 G6, the G14, and the G10, I believe? I don't exactly remember. So a lot of people won't get this plane. However, I'd probably say that this is the best 109 at Tier 4. And one of the best planes to grind out top tier Germany with. So as you can see, I'm pulling around on the 6th, this Bearcat. I'm not really close enough. I have my convergence set fairly closely. That other G14 dives on him and has energy on him. And the TA-152C3 finishes him off with his 5 cannons. But this thing, I make a lot of mistakes in this game. And one of them was actually diving on that P-36, but it didn't cost me anything. I had more than enough time to recover from that mistake. But I make a lot of them later on, and it's almost more of an example of what not to do, but it's more of an example of what you can get away with in this plane, if you know what you're doing. Now, there's a Spitfire and a Bearcat up there, and I believe they only had 4 planes left at this point. So, make that 5, because I know for sure they have 2 more Spitfires. So, there's 2 Bearcats and a Spitfire over there. They're all much higher battle rating planes, however, this thing can compete with them no problem. It's a 5.3 battle rating, so this is almost a max up tier, not quite, because those aren't the 1Bs, they're just the 1s. So it's a 6.0, but basically, this plane, I just love this plane. It's maneuverable, it's fast, it's got everything you could ask for. I don't recommend putting the gun pods on it because you lose massive amounts of maneuverability. You lose almost 2 seconds of turn time on when you mount the gun pods. So I highly advise against doing that unless you were specifically going bomber hunting. But even then, you lose a lot of climb rates. You're better off with like a Fokker Wolf, because they can at least keep their roll rate when they do that. Now this thing it excels like a 109 does. Like, it dives well, it's fast, it's a good boom and zoomer. But it's got maneuverability to it as well, which I think is what makes this plane so good. Now, I did get a hit on that Bearcat, nothing major. In fact, I'm pretty sure it's sparked, but it doesn't matter, because that 109 the 109, Spitfire and Bearcat ram, put some more shots into the Bearcat. Now, the Bearcat's turning around, and he's gonna get on my friend's 6. He starts putting some shots into him. Now, I have my convergence set to 300 with vertical targeting on, so that's why even though my crosshair is behind him, I'm so close, my guns are firing up at such a high angle that I can actually kill him while my guns aren't actually on target to most people. that's just something I was messing around with, because it doesn't have like the turn time of, say, a Mark 9C Spitfire. If you don't know what I'm talking about, it's the premium Mark 9, LF Mark 9. So, and I was basically going out trying to make mistakes in this plane. I wasn't trying to climb and boom and zoom and never die. My goal was to see what can this thing do when when shit hits the fan. So, it's exactly what I did. That's why you find me flying around on the deck looking for Spitfires. I wanted to see if this thing can dogfight a Spitfire. I was specifically looking for the first Griffin, the Mark 14E, because this thing and the Mark 14E are likely to be the Thunder League planes, as those were the ones used in the test Thunder League tournament. So that's why I'm spading this one out. I already have the Griffin spaded out, so I know where that thing is good and where it's not. And these things are very, very comparable planes. They can go toe-to-toe, that's for sure. However, I wanted to find out which one was just that much better. And, well, I never got in a one-on-one with one, because no one seems to fly the Mark 14, so... Yeah, and so, now I thought that their planes would be at the airfield based on the points that they had. So I start flying towards their airfield, because what's left is a premium LF Mark 9C and a Mark 14E. I'm just looking at what my convergence was like, because that Bearcat kill had me messed up. So at this point I see one of them, and I still think that the other one could be on the runway. I didn't actually realize that they were in a squad. So I see that Spitfire back there, and I'm still flying towards the runway. Look back a second time, and there's the other Spitfire. Now, one's in, as I mentioned, one's in a Mark 9C, one's in the first Griffin Spitfire. So, they're both very maneuverable planes. And the Mark 14E is basically the same plane. Like, there are obviously differences between 109 and Spitfire, but it's an energy-fighting Spitfire, or boom and zooming. It's a faster Spitfire with less turning time. So, and this is a slower 109 with more maneuverability. So you can see where they would kind of overlap in some areas, in quite a few, in fact. He has 2 Hispano Mark IIs. I have one MG151. He's got like 250 cals, I think. And I've got 2 13 mils. So guns are pretty comparable. It's basically like they're very balanced plane to each other. So my goal here is to help out this 410 and basically take down one of these Spitfires. Put a quick burst in, break from the head on. That's the premium Mark 9C. I shouldn't really be turn fighting that guy, but the other one's coming around, so like I said, fuck it, why not? I mean, I'm trying to make mistakes and get away with it. I wanted to see what this thing can do in a dogfight against a more maneuverable plane. And, well, let me just say this thing's tough at the start of this fight. And it's going to save my ass. That was the first heat he got into me, and he won't get another one in that actually does damage for a while. Now, I get this guy to overshoot here, ish, if I could ever find him. He did overshoot, but by the time I found him, I had no idea where he was. Now, he rips his flap off. In this fight, that is huge, because my plane is a maneuverable for a 109, and his plane is a Mark 9 Spitfire, so it's fairly maneuverable. However, because he ripped his flaps off, that actually makes my stall speed lower than his. So I can afford to fly a lot slower. But he's got a friend in the area. Now, this Tempest, I mean, he could have ended this dogfight so many times. He never managed to put a blow into either one of these Spitfires. So, this LF Mark 9 does have some idea of what he's doing. He's not rolling in front of my guns. He knows what he's doing in the sense that he won't fly straight in front of me. Now, I see the Mark 14 on the Tempest 6, and, well, I figured I should help the Tempest, right? So I put some bursts in to get him to break. Now I follow him through with this, because I knew that I would have a chance to break from the Mark 9 as he was turning away, but I don't know how much time I have, because I never really looked how far the Mark 9 was behind me. So I follow him into the vertical, so once again, want to see how everything goes when this thing goes wrong. Kill him. Mark 9's right on my 6, right in his convergence. He puts some hits into me. Those were 20 mils, by the way, not just the 7.7s. So now I am damaged and not in the best fighting condition. And I can get him to overshoot once more, because I have flaps and he doesn't. And now he rolls over. I'm basically the damage. I could have got the kill right there had I not been damaged, but I screwed up, so I'm damaged. And I am almost on 0 throttle almost the entire time through here. Now, I do manage to rip off one of my flaps, because I'm a noob. But Tempest comes in again with an easy shot on the Spitfire. Fails to kill him again. I don't even think he's shooting anymore. I think he must be out of ammo. That's like the only explanation. So, I figured since the Tempest is appearing to dogfight him, or turn fight him, I'll break, gain distance, and come back in, as you're supposed to do when someone's trying to keep a Spitfire at low speed and distracted for you. However, I hear that ripping sound, and that be the Tempest. The Tempest has hit the ground. So, that's not really an option anymore, so I turn around, not sure what this Spitfire is doing, but I have no words for what that Spitfire did. So, yeah, that's the 109 G14, and that's how it does when everything goes wrong. It can still come out on top. Anyways, I definitely recommend this plane, and I'll see you guys next time.